Welcome into the DNVR Rockies podcast brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Now, new customers, when you use promo code DNVR, you can make a $5 moneyline bet on any NBA game, and if your team wins, you get $200 in free bets if your team wins. That's only with code DNVR and only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. I am Patrick Lyons.
And I am Susie Hunter, really just trying to soak in every day that we have with Patrick's long locks, for as long as we can.
The doomsday clock is closer to midnight, and so is the clock on these locks. The lock clock.
The lock clock
is counting down. Not many more days or hours until I trim this bad boy, donate my hair to Locks of Love, and then it's a whole new rebrand for me.
Ooh, are you going to need a new logo here at DNVR?
Actually, the
logo kind of has short hair, actually. Yeah,
the logo was probably the haircut I had less than a year into growing it out.
Yeah.
And so I'll actually probably even get closer to that logo. Mustache, I don't know. Again, these are some of the teasers that we've got coming up on the DNVR Sports channel. Yeah, this is interesting. I don't know. Maybe I trim it. Maybe I add something else. Do I go full Fu Manchu?
Oh,
no.
I'm going to throw up.
Yeah, no, me too a little bit.
Wait, Kale, do you have a microphone?
No.
Ah!
Kale's
piping in.
But Kale, you can have the best mustache definitively. We don't have to worry about splitting votes.
Well, I already shaved mine.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
See, I came over to look at your new glasses, missed the mustache. What we are not going to miss, though, today is more Rockies transactions.
So many transactions.
A lot more.
Mm-hmm.
A few All-Stars down in the minor league system.
Mm-hmm.
Northwest League All-Stars have been announced. Same with the California League. We have to talk about a couple guys kind of being rumored about for the Rockies to target this offseason. Scott Boras has gone out and made some comments. I don't know if you know this is like a regular thing that he does, but they're funny. We're going to get some laughs.
What's Scott Boras talking about today?
We'll talk about some of the new managers and whether or not the Rockies might be in search of a new manager within the next 12 months and discuss the Athletics situation in Oakland. It may have just gotten a little bit more complicated.
It's getting spicy.
It's getting spicy. I should say before we go any further, I think, and Kale can back us up maybe, this is the first official show on the DNVR Sports podcast done entirely on legal mushrooms. Is that correct? Is this the first one? I think it is. There we go. So thanks for getting out, rocking the vote.
Yes.
That's it.
I love that.
Shroom the vote. That's
Shroom
it.
the vote.
We did it.
You're insane.
Exactly. All right. So the transactions yesterday, we kind of were expecting some of these moves to free up room on the 40-man roster, not just to add free agents or for possible trades, but because there are a lot of really good players down in the minor league system that need to be placed on the 40-man roster, or they will be subject to the Rule 5 draft, and another team could just go and take them out of the system. Of course, they would have to stay at the big league level for the entirety of the season, so you can't just take a guy for nothing. It's a very, very specific situation, but still, you want to protect all of those guys. So 2 players lost on waivers. Dom Nunez went to the San Francisco Giants. That was his childhood team growing up. He's from Sacramento, the Sacramento area.
I think that's adorable.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Wrote a little bit about that. There was an article back in May about him being a Giants fan, going to Oracle Park, the ballpark in China Basin with all its different names. Garrett Hampson, Robert Stevenson. Now Hampson's the only one around from that story.
Wow, yeah.
And we don't know if he will continue to be. But that was kind of neat hearing.
Let's see if there's a curse of the story.
That's it. You're right. It could be a jinx. Ryan Valade was selected off of waivers from Pittsburgh. That creates 2 more spots. That puts them at 35. And then 3 guys were optioned or outrighted to the minors: Ty Block, Helcris Olivares, and Winton Bernard. Helcris Olivares, a guy we haven't discussed much on the show because he was pretty much injured for the last year plus.
Yeah, he's been injured for a while.
He has been. A nice left-handed starter. At this point, I don't know if now he needs to move into the bullpen. But for Block and Bernard, who've 30-plus years old, been around the block, they have the availability today to actually opt into minor league free agency. And I sort of think both of them could do that. Bernard more so, because with the rule changes coming up, I think there's going to be a lot more premium placed on speed. And so there very well could be teams out there kind of making certain overtures, I'm sure, to his agency saying, hey, we might even give you a spot on the 40-man roster. We might even pencil you in as our fourth outfielder. So he might have some better opportunities elsewhere. And so
interesting stuff.
The
Witten Bernard story continues.
It does, right? That's it. Yeah, we talked about Hilliard, Bernard, and Joe all going. But now that the first two of those dominoes have fallen, I think Connor Joe's safe.
You think he's safe?
I think he's safe now.
Safe.
I actually do. In with Vilade going on, and you're like, okay, there's another outfielder that can maybe play a little bit of first base. So I think Joe's spot is okay. I'm not worried. I wouldn't be shocked still. But now with the roster down to 32, it gives them plenty of room to protect their prospects ahead of the November 15th deadline, which is coming up just next week. I sort of feel like this is giving them more wiggle room to possibly make a trade within the next week, and to, for the first time in a long time, be active at the Rule 5 draft. Now, they took Jordan Sheffield ahead of the 2021 season. There wasn't a Rule 5 draft this last year. But other than that, they typically have not tapped into that Rule 5 market. Tommy Canely was one of the only other guys that they've ever been able to keep around for a full season. So they haven't really gone that route. I'm kind of curious with the loss of the minor league season in 2020. There wasn't a Rule 5 draft, so there could be a backup. There could be a lot of backstock and a piling up of prospects for other organizations that the Rockies are going out there and saying, you know what, we might take one. We might even take two guys in the Rule 5 draft next month. Again, that's against the grain of what they normally do, but I could see in this circumstance, in this world, as things have changed in the last 2 years, them maybe being a little bit more active in the Rule 5 draft. We'll see.
And you might be there for all the action.
We'll see. We will be.
We'll see.
Yes. I'm looking forward to the GM meetings. Are you keeping tabs on that at all?
I have been, yes. Yeah, I have.
That's been interesting to see some of the news coming out about that. We did have news break. 2 leagues of All-Stars were announced in the Northwest League. We had Colin Simpson, Eddie Diaz, Julio Carreras, and, of course, Zach Veen as Northwest League All-Stars.
No surprises there.
Nope.
They were already all-stars in our heart. Now it's official.
And now Northwest League M-Veen-P, Zach Veen.
Something about that sounds not safe for work.
M-Veen-P?
Yeah.
Only after you said that. Only after you said that.
I don't know if it sounds dirty, but I do know that it is hype.
Great point.
Yo, Kale.
The Veen hype meter is on its way on Wednesday, catching up with Stephen Rice. Were you hyped?
I was pretty hype after Stephen Rice's interview. I got to be honest. These prospects are getting me in my feels.
Kale got so excited he went and grabbed a mic.
I did go grab a mic.
This is amazing.
I had to talk about Zach Veen.
That's it.
So are we above 4% now, Patrick? Do you think we can boost ourselves above 4%?
Well, we are. Yes. So I've been saying that the number was 3. I asked Stephen Rice, and here he swerved on me because he said, you know what? He's going to dominate down in AAA. He's going to get some great homers down in Pacific Coast League. But then he bumped the line up to 4%. And then as we got back on air, wrapping up the show, the news dropped that he was the Northwest League MVP. And so we're at 5 now.
5%. Let's go.
Yes. He's going to 5% chance he's on the opening day roster.
We need a Veenometer graphic.
I'm working on one already.
Or is it a Veenometer?
Ooh, a Veenometer.
Could be. I'm down for that.
I think
I'm very much down for that. Yeah. Yeah, the hype is real. The hype is growing. California League All-Stars were also announced. So Stephen Rice over there, as predicted from the Fresno Grizzlies, there are going to be a lot of names. 5 All-Stars from the Cal League here at the end of the season. Yankiel Fernandez, outfielder, first baseman Hunter Goodman, second baseman Juan Brito, Adele Amador, shortstop, and left-handed pitcher Mason Green. Phenomenal output from the bottom of the Rockies farm system. Did you see the tweet that went out on our main account?
Which one?
With Jamal Murray making all those faces.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, it's Zach Veen and a bunch of future relievers. Oh no. There are some seriously talented players in the system and some seriously talented good deals at the Rockies dugout stores.
I thought you were talking about a good deal on a PS5. We'll get into that later.
Oh, yes. Two. I got 2 of them. They're on their way, apparently. No, but the Rockies dugout stores, they got a sale going on for the next 3 days with like 75% off. Tried to get there when the door opened at 10 a.m., was running behind. So after the show, I'm headed right over there.
Are you really?
I want some good deals.
What are you stocking?
Some City Connect stuff in there, I hear, too.
So that's what you have your eye on? You're thinking some City Connect stuff?
I'm getting in on some early holiday shopping for myself.
Do you give your family Rockies-related gifts for Christmas?
With my in-laws having
holidays?
just moved in, I might have to give them like 1 or 2 things.
They need to catch up for when you guys all go to a game.
That's true.
They can't be wearing, what jerseys would they wear? What did they wear back east?
They don't typically do that.
Oh.
Not really. They're fans. Caps. They'll go caps, but not.
Caps.
The in-laws not as big.
Ah, got it. Okay.
Yeah. They're more like, hey, what's going on with the Yankees? Do they still have Aaron Judge? Yeah. Okay. Like I checked in. That was their check-in. My parents are a little bit more involved, and they're watching Sunday football. They're the bigger sports fans.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What a
So
dynamic.
I have to get some shopping for that. I already got my 2 PS5s from Matt Holliday, whose account was definitely hacked. I don't know if that's resolved itself yet.
Yeah, we should check on that for sure. This exact thing happened to me in the off season, and it's very stressful. So I hope he gets his account back.
What was like happening? Was it like very obvious, or was it somewhat neutral like this of Matt Holliday's account saying like, "Hey, you guys want some PS5s? I got a trunk full, and I'll ship them out." That could be real.
So whoever hacked the account did that. They posted something very similar, not necessarily in the trunk of a car, but just like pictures inside of a house of a couple of PS5s. And it said, hey, DM me if you want these. But people actually DM'd and they Venmo'd that person like thousands of dollars. No. So that's why I felt so bad too, because like people believed it. And I'm like, you should really know that I'm not a video games girl. Like I don't got no PS5s.
Sweet. The people that Venmo'd you didn't get
Venmo
their PS5s?
me. They didn't Venmo me.
Wait a minute. They didn't get their PS5s?
They did not.
So are you thinking I'm not going to get my PS5? You saying I'm at 1100 for my 2?
I think you're at 1100.
Damn it.
Good thing you're making big bucks here at DNVR.
Well, I gotta look on the my magnet schedule, see when St. Louis comes to town, and talk to their bench coach and say, Matt, I don't know if you know what went down last offseason, but yeah, no.
It's so upsetting. I hate to
that.
see it. I really hope that it gets figured out. I hope less people see it and believe it.
Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't believe this, but I do because there's evidence. Tua Tagovailoa did get 17,000 write-in votes as Florida governor. I don't know. Kale's hands on his head like, no democracy.
Across the room.
So naturally, I did have to think, like, which Rocky could get that many votes in Colorado? I don't know if you could get that many just as a strict write-in. You'd have to, like, make a joke that you want to be governor or something.
You'd have to start a bit.
Yes. And then people, they're going to kind of run with it a little bit. I mean, we could also start that bit for them. So who could we start a bit for and actually get people to vote for?
I feel like maybe Charlie Blackmon could be that guy.
I think so too.
I think he could be that guy.
I think he is one that would make a joke. I don't know if he would now. He doesn't kid around as much as he used to. He does joke, but I think he knows now that if he makes a comment like that about trying to be the governor of Colorado,
it's going to have legs.
Yes,
it
will have legs. Great phrase. Todd Helton, maybe not as much. I think Cargo actually.
Oh,
Cargo could legitimately run for governor of Colorado, and I think he could win that.
You know what? He's got it. He's got it all. $1 million smile, the most stunning wife on the face of this earth, adorable kids.
Yes.
And a local businessman.
That's true. Yeah, Northern Colorado Owls at least.
Yes.
And Bud Black he just should run for office anywhere he goes. He looks like a politician, doesn't he?
He does. He.
And I mean that in the nicest way, of course.
He answers like a politician sometimes, for sure, but he's still very funny.
When we talk to him in the dugout, I legit get George W. Bush vibes. Like I feel like there's a resemblance. They're both baseball guys, right? Yeah. There's just something. There's something about him. A politician's swagger.
A politician's swagger.
If that's such a thing.
Plus, like perfect teeth go a long way.
That's true.
Bud Black has perfect teeth.
He's got good teeth. What's from all those apples he eats, as we know. That's the secret.
Bud Black, Big Apple guy.
Big Apple guy. Apple vibes. Atlanta did swing another trade. They're 2 for 2 here. Reacquiring Colby Allard because they originally had him. They drafted him. They got him from Texas for Jake Odorizzi. So Rangers really going all in. Sounds like they're making certain overtures to Jacob deGrom.
Of course they are.
So
of course they are.
Rangers, after spending $500 million last offseason,
Let's spend another $500 million.
Are very, very well. Maybe Justin Verlander could be that guy. He has opted out of his deal.
Are you surprised that he opted out? Because I'm a little surprised he opted out.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a great jump off question for this because that was my thought of he seemed happy, but he's won his championship now, right? He's got his World Series ring. What does he have to prove? And I sort of feel like he may want to be the pitcher of this generation. And Max Scherzer went out and got paid incredibly well, at 38 years old?
Yeah.
Verlander's 40. But he's saying, I want to be doing Roger Clemens types thing. I want to be a no doubt. Scherzer's great, first ballot Hall of Famer. But Justin Verlander is inner ring Hall of Famer. I think that's where he's at. And so really, moving that bar a little bit for the union, right, for the Players Association, and getting a really big deal, I think could be what he's looking for. Again, probably only a 3-year deal, but it could be, upwards of $150 million.
Damn.
I don't know.
Damn.
Yeah.
I know I've heard rumblings that he wants to pitch until he's 45 years old, pull some Tom Brady stuff. So
we hope it does not go the same way. A lot of similarities with model wives playing into your mid-40s.
I hate that I put that out in the universe.
You did.
I love Kate Upton so much.
That's true.
I would die for her. Did you see the video of her giving a Phillies fan the finger in Philly?
I did. There was something about it that made me think it was she was playing it was a joke. She wasn't legit. Because she laughed right after.
Yeah.
She was trying to be tough.
Yeah.
And then she laughed oh, this is silly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it didn't seem like too many people were legitimately upset about it.
No, I think Philly loves when people do that.
Oh, nice.
Because, we saw the response Justin Verlander got
right.
when he was giving the middle finger out and about to Phillies fans.
Yes.
Like husband, like wife.
That's it.
I love her.
We're not number 1. We're number 2. Flip the double birds, Philly. That's all right.
Go Birds.
One of the names that's been floated out there as a possible trade candidate is a guy that I wrote about last offseason that the Rockies should target, Pablo Lopez. The Marlins had 3 guys really that they were dangling out there as potential trade targets or trade bait. Sandy Alcantara, Pablo Lopez, and Eliezer Hernandez. And when you really looked at the resume of all 3 of those guys, Alcantara was going to require the most, and now probably the NL Cy Young Award winner this year. He's really going to be out of the Rockies' price range, and they should probably stay away from that. But Pablo Lopez still would be really good value, so I'm still all in on that. And I'm all in on everyone saying, hey, Kevin Kiermaier might be a better fit for the Rockies than Brandon Nimmo. Last year, that was the guy I kept banging the drum for, saying, hey, swing a deal with the Rays. Maybe you can take advantage of him like the Herman Marquez deal. Get a reliever. I thought my proposal was a guy in Jeffrey Springs that ended up having a real good year as a starter this past year. Who would the Rockies have given up? Colton Welker. Something for nothing, right? Now they got nothing.
They got nothing.
Coco Montes, who, again, really good guy that I think Tampa Bay would covet really well. Didn't get an opportunity with the Rockies this year, even though he really posted down in AAA. And then throw in someone who's, 25 to 40 in the system, in the Rockies system. Boom! You could have gotten Kevin Kiermaier last year instead of waiting this year, but the Rays have declined his option, so he is an untethered free agent for the Rockies to maybe go after.
I like the sounds of that. Do you think the value on Coco Montes has gone up or stayed the same since we started talking about the power of his smoothies?
The Smoothie Gate.
Smoothie Gate.
I definitely think people are taking a lot more notice of him.
As they should.
They should. I did my preliminary predictions of what's going to happen ahead of November 15th, the date that anyone needs to get added to the 40-man roster or else to be exposed to the Rule 5 draft. I don't think Coco is going to be on that list, but he got a maybe from me. He's a fringy guy like that. And because of the season he had last year, I could see a team scooping him up in the Rule 5 draft and saying, yeah, no, we want to have you around all year long.
Yeah. Oh, we got an interesting comment from Steven Cross. Bellinger could be an option for the Rockies if LA drops his contract. I'd rather get Nimmo or Jock. Thank you, Steven, for chiming in. We love that.
Peterson will kind of wait and see if he does get non-tendered. I know he made like $17 million last year. So much of that had to do with his MVP season in 2019, but he hasn't really kept up with that. So his price continues to go up. You know, even if it only goes up $2 million, you go $19 million for Cody Bellinger. That seems, I mean, Dodgers can afford it, no doubt. But if he does get non-tendered, he does go out there. Rockies would still probably have to pay $15 million for 1 year. But that, I feel like, is better for the Rockies timetable-wise. Because with Brendan Nimmo, the problem with him that I see is he's going to get a qualifying offer today. I think might be 3 p.m. our time. Qualifying offers have to be put out. It's $19.6 million. So if they accept that qualifying offer, they stick around for 1 year at that price. If they decline, they're free agents. But now any team that signs them will have to give up a draft pick for the Rockies. That's their 3rd round pick. If you're draft and develop, you might not want to give up that 3rd round pick. Certainly much better than what happened in 2017, which in the 2016-17 offseason, they signed Ian Desmond, who had gotten a qualifying offer from the Texas Rangers. They forfeited their 1st round pick, which was 11th overall, highest in the history of the qualifying offer. And then they were left with a 2nd round pick, which they used 48th overall on Ryan Vilade, bringing it back around. So the 15, 16, 17, even the 18 draft, all of those years really kind of fell flat for consecutive years.
Not too much to show for right now in this moment.
Exactly. You almost can't afford to do that. So that's one of the downsides I find for bringing someone like Nimmo. But if it's a shorter-term solution, like Kevin Kiermaier or the guy that was just mentioned there, maybe even a Cody Bellinger, sure,
Cody
I could see it.
Bellinger, I feel like, just with how he always looks and sounds kind of high, I feel like would just be such a fun addition.
The sponsorships are just going to be never ending.
I just love the way he talks. He sounds hilarious.
Yeah, he doesn't even have to say the product's name. You just put the product next to his head and he's just
that
blinking
works.
his eyes. He's like, huh? Right? Come on. Huh? Yeah. Why not? That's it. Charlotte's Web is going to move some units. Official
The
THC or CBD?
The CBD sponsor of the MLB.
There you go. That's it. We've got a lot of sponsors to talk about, and we have to talk about ours first. Just the DNVR bar.
We got to start at home.
We got to start at home. Love that. Yeah, we got watch parties going on all the time for Nuggets, Avs, Broncos as well. We have the Broncos tailgates. Next Sunday is our next one against the Raiders. In fact, if you're a member of the DNVR.com, now only 50 cents for that first month. You do get price breaks on all of those things if you're at any of our watch parties. We're going to hook you up with extra raffle tickets so that you can win some of our free merch and all kinds of really great giveaways that we have. And you get 15% off your tab here at the DNVR bar, which, again, if you're coming down with these watch parties, I was describing it recently to someone who was like, oh, could we maybe bring our group one evening down to the bar? And I'm like, well, yes, but if you're looking for, a quieter place to have conversations, if it's at a watch party, that might not be a great fit necessarily because it is basically, it's a mini ball arena in here.
It gets lit. It gets lit.
What I said something during the season. What was the nickname that I called it?
Baby Ball.
We got the baby ball here at the corner of Colfax in York. So if you're looking for those vibes, head on down. Even if you're not a member, if you want to go all in, you get a free shirt from DNVRlocker.com. We've partnered up with Ivaka TV, the folks on the DNVR Nugget side, including our super producer, Kale. They went out to Serbia to get all the rundown and hear all of the wonderful wives' tales and husbands' tales. And most of them turned out to be legit, all about Nikola Jokic, our 2-time MVP. I think he might do it again this year. That's a conversation.
3VP?
Yes. The 3-peat? We'll see. We'll have to rebrand that.
No.
3-peat, I believe, is trademarked by Pat Riley. So we could not actually say that. MV3? something like that.
Yeah, that works.
We'll work on that.
We've got time to workshop it because the season is still young.
That's it. And you still have time to make sure you catch 100 Invisible Threads, the wonderful documentary made all about that trip to Serbia with the DNVR Nuggets crew, getting the rundown on Nikola Jokic, even going to the European Championships, getting to see him in action for that. You can get hooked up with Evoca TV by going to evoca.tv/DNVR. That's evoca.tv/DNVR. You get tons of Colorado sports teams, right? You get Altitude Sports, AT&T Sportsnet. It's $25 per month plus a $5 receiver. Of course, you're going to get $10 off your first 3 months when you use promo code DNVR on top of all that. And I know our guy Kale over here is super stoked. Kale, do you own or have you ever owned a Never Summer snowboard?
I have not owned a Never Summer snowboard because I don't snowboard. I'm a skier, but my brother rides Never Summer.
All right. Well, tell your brother he needs to make sure he checks out the newest Breck Brew release, the Fun Slinger Lager. It's light. It's crushable. It's a perfect balance. Not too hoppy, not too malty. It's great after a day on the slopes or here at the DNVR bar. They've collabed with Never Summer Snowboards. It's fantastic. It's beer born out of 2 Colorado companies with a legacy of quality and craftsmanship. Check out where you can find that with the beer locator over at breckbrew.com to find a Fun Slinger near you. Susie.
Yes.
Scott Boras is pumping up his clients.
What a personality Scott Boras is.
I've heard him discuss it. He's like, no, I just come up with these. And it's like, no, you have a team of people with, doing all kinds of wordplay. It's fine. I really think this time next year, we could probably predict what he's going to say because it's obvious wordplay.
Yeah.
But it's still fun. Talking about the free agent class, he says, the free agent market is not very much of a carnivore's market. The menu features filet mignon and Wagyu and less hamburger and vegan. So he's saying these are premium free agents.
Oh, wow.
Like the American, the blue-collar American Wagyu from Hassel Cattle Company. It's it's that upper echelon. So Carlos Correa, he says, he's the Dior of defense, the Hermes of hitting, the Louis V of leadership, and Prada of the season. It's a one-stop shop for a championship designer.
This is my favorite one.
This is
my
one.
favorite Scott Borasism of this season.
They get worse from here. They actually get worse. Taiwan Walker, he says, Taiwan is one of the few players under 30, and he's had multiple 150 innings pitched seasons. So essentially, Taiwan is on an island. The only question is, who is willing to Taipei?
This one stresses me out.
Taiwan, Chinese Taipei. Got it.
I'm stressed, man.
On Brandon Nimmo. There are a lot of teams in the waters of free agency. Whoever picks our guy will be the lucky one finding Nimmo. Kale just exhaled out there. He's like, this kind of hurts him.
I hate that.
I'm so sorry. Look, I've got a job I need to do
Maybe Brendan Nimmo will end up with the Rockies after this.
After as cheesy as that is, maybe?
After Scott Boras did him dirty with that.
Maybe. Xander Bogaerts. His uncle Humphrey left him a message in his memoirs. There's going to be a lot of teams looking at you, kid. Humphrey Bogart.
Is that actually
from Casablanca?
No, I know, but that's not actually his uncle, is it?
No. Humphrey Bogaerts. Xander Bogaerts. Also, he's Karakin.
Well, I didn't know. I'm not going to assume anything about anyone's lineage.
Carlos Rodon. The thinking team chose him. He sculpted a masterpiece. Rodin, not Rodon, but Rodin's thinker.
These are awful.
Yep. Sean Manaea. This one he didn't even try. He goes, Sean Manaea, man, I need a pitcher like that. That just was zero effort. F.
Sean Manaea. Now, you know what? No, he was saved from this. This is making me cringe.
Jerickson Profar. Profar, so good. What does that even mean? What do you mean, Profar, so good? What
does that mean?
Because teams can't even talk to free agents yet.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
Yes, that's it. Look, Scott Boras, he balls so hard. He does. Matthew Boyd, it's simply unavoidable that I need a pitcher like that. Josh Bell, he just has all of the bells and whistles. It tailed off. It tailed off big time after the Carlos Correa, right?
The unavoidable one is giving me Valentine vibes.
Yeah, it's not good. It is not good. He fell off a cliff there in a major way.
Oh, wow. But here we are talking about it. Look at him getting all this airtime, all this attention.
He does, yeah.
I'm just speechless right now because I didn't see a lot of these.
Those puns were unavoidable, were not unavoidable and deserving of some accolades and some awards. Aaron Judge, Paul Goldschmidt, the 2022 Hank Aaron Award for Best Offensive Player. Good to see for those guys. That's a new one that was, I feel like, is maybe only a decade or so old. But it's, usually the best hitter is probably going to be the MVP. So it can be a little redundant at time, but that's cool. That's fine. I don't know if you saw on MLB.com, they've got some kind of weird legendary moment bracket, but they only have 4 moments, and it says regular season, and then there's postseason events on there. It's very inconsistent, but here are the face-offs. I'm curious what you would pick.
Okay.
Pujols' 700th versus Aaron Judge's 62nd. For you, what is a more legendary moment?
I think it's got to be Pujols' 700th because we're not going to see anything like that ever again. We could see 62 home runs in a season again, but I don't think we're going to see 700 home runs from one player again.
Yeah.
At least for a long time.
It's an opinion. So when I say that you are correct, it's because I agree with you.
Oh, okay.
Kale's like holding his breath. He's like, "Oh my God, did she hit the wrong pick?" No, I mean,
is there going to be a fight? Kale's so nervous.
That's what I had too. I mean, I also had Pujols 700, and it's weird because you're like, "Yeah, but 62." That's what happens because the steroid era. That's what with all those guys hitting more than 62. I think it was also how he did it.
Yeah.
Like if he hadn't fallen off, and if it didn't seem like. There's almost no way he's going to do it this year.
That's true. Going into this season, I had no idea that this would happen.
Yeah. I might feel, I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe in 3 years I might feel different about it. But right now I'm like, man, no, that was more exciting to me.
Yeah.
It was actually more exciting.
It was a really cool moment.
I know you're going to pick on this one. This one we won't agree. Astros World Series no-hitter versus Bryce Harper's NLCS clinching home run.
Bryce Harper.
Well, we'll just say that we don't agree on that.
Can we just talk about how injured Bryce Harper is? Like, just basically taped together. How did he get through that whole postseason?
It makes it all the more impressive.
It makes it so impressive.
Very true. Yes. Would you have Pujols over Harper?
Yeah, I would.
Same. And I have Pujols over the no-hitter. Yeah.
No disrespect to Brycey baby and the Harper family.
All right. Athletics moving out of Oakland. So last week, Commissioner Rob Manfred discussed this with Mad Dog Chris Russo. Incidentally, I don't know your stance on Mad Dog. Like, dislike, or you're kind of neutral?
I think I like him, but he definitely overwhelms me. He does a lot of yelling. How is he not exhausted?
Great question.
I just have so many questions.
I love Mad Dog.
Yeah.
I do. I grew up listening to him. Like I can legit remember going to baseball games, having him on the radio, and that was that was before podcasts. That was before ESPN even had like their talking heads shows. So he's golden. And
such a tri-state area thing for you to say.
And I'm glad to see him, go national too, because he can hold his own. That's the thing, is that he can talk about any subject very knowledgeably
and very loudly.
Loudly first, then knowledgeably.
They don't even mic him up. You can just hear him from your house.
I think you're right. The producer turns his mic on, and it's like he just works off of that one, pretty much. But he knows his stuff, and the thing that always gets me, and I'm looking forward to, I haven't seen him since the last winter meeting in 2019, taller than you'd think, right? I mean, do you think he might be, how tall do you think Chris Russo is?
I mean, he honestly has short guy energy to me.
Saying,
but
right?
But you're telling me he's
like
not
5'8"?
short?
Would you say like 5'8"? Which isn't short, but.
No. I would say he honestly gives me like 5'7" energy.
Okay. He's my height. He's like 5'11". Right?
Surprised.
Short guy energy. I think so. So Manfred says, quote,
a slightly average above height king.
Yeah, he is. He absolutely is. Manfred said about the Oakland situation, I think the mayor in Oakland has made a huge effort to try to get it done in Oakland. It just doesn't look like it's going to happen. Something has to happen. We can't go 5 more years in the Coliseum, which we know is true. He also commented, given the lack of pace in Oakland, I think the A's have to look for an alternative.
Wow.
So he's not saying That's it. Baseball is dead in Oakland. It's just, look, this is kind of where we're at.
Yeah.
The governor of Nevada said about Las Vegas. Now, they rolled out the red carpet for the Raiders. They used a lot of public money to help fund that stadium. He said, we're not doing that for the Athletics.
Yeah.
Now, I think he very much specifically said Athletics. Now, they might do that for an expansion team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know why it would be one and not the other. But, you know, obviously he would pay for some certain infrastructure of roads and parking, stuff like that. But just, hey, we're not going to build a $1 billion stadium. So the A's would have to figure that out. So that doesn't necessarily even make Las Vegas a better option than Oakland. And it almost makes you think, well, is there going to be another? Yeah, is there going to be another city to go to, or do you really just have to figure this out in Oakland?
Yeah, this is. You know what? I think there's a chance that Jessica Kleinschmidt might come on the show tomorrow and talk about this a little more too. So she said earlier in the year, we'll have to get the update. That's she said they're not going anywhere. Yeah,
and the option at Howard Terminal is amazing looking. Mm-hmm. It looks incredibly transformative, and I'm not actually sure why that hasn't gotten done. I think maybe the A's want more public funding. I'm not sure, or maybe the city doesn't want to give them that property. I'm not sure, but. It looks like you see that you go, baseball will be safe in Oakland for 50 some years if they can build the stadium down in Howard Terminal. But if not, you know, they can't stay in the Coliseum.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be so frustrating too. I mean, no one goes to those games. And is it because of the team? Is it because of the Coliseum? Is it because there's so many other things to do in the Bay Area?
Maybe. Yeah, it's true. And it very well could be like a combination of both too. You know what I mean?
A lot to think about.
And the team is not bringing in revenue from people going to games, so therefore they can't reinvest. They're trading away their players all the time. So it just makes for almost an untenable situation. They become the second class citizen in that area, whereas the Giants, you know, they've got everything. So people are probably flipping over. And again, you look at all the championships they won at the beginning of the 2010s, and so you know this generation of A's fans don't exist like they did previously, because now they're probably Giants fans. The situation in Tampa Bay, Manfred does say, I see Tampa differently, continues by saying, I've got a lot of faith in Rays owner Stu Sternberg. I think they will find a place to get a ballpark built, and I think baseball can thrive in Tampa. That's the only thing I take umbrage with. Thrive? Baseball in Florida just can't thrive necessarily. That's another location where there's too many other things to do. People aren't necessarily going to games. Marlins have a really, a beautiful stadium. I haven't been there, but from all I've seen, beautiful, but it's Miami.
Yeah. It is. It's a lovely stadium. It's very echoey, I will say. The acoustics are not on point.
Yeah.
But regardless. Also interesting, baseball can thrive in Tampa. That stadium's not in Tampa. It's in St. Pete.
That's right.
So, I mean, is that a part of the plan to like actually just have a stadium in Tampa rather than St. Pete?
Well, I think, and I don't know if it's Tampa proper or if it's one of those weird things where it's half is and half is. Like where I lived in Boulder, it's like we paid half Boulder tax and then half we didn't pay what Boulder paid in Gun Barrel, if anyone knows that area. So it's like it is, but it also isn't. So Ybor City is the place. YBOR City is kind of that location where I think they've scouted and they maybe even have some land, and it sounds like that city is really willing to work with the team. So that could end up being the possible destination. But yeah, you're right. That's another one of those misnomers, like the New York Giants and Jets. They don't play in New York. They play in New Jersey. So they're the Tampa Bay. Right? They're not the Tampa Rays.
Yeah.
If they were, you have a problem. But the Tampa Bay is like saying the Bay Area.
But
Bay Area Athletics.
I do know that like an issue with people in Tampa is that, it's hard to get to a game after work.
Oh.
It's so hard to get over to St. Pete after work. If it was just in Tampa where more people are at the end of a day, it'd be a little bit easier.
Because there's like one bridge, like going in and out, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Bad.
It's just so much traffic. It takes forever. So yeah, I think that would be I'm looking up Ybor City on a map right now.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm like, I need to know exactly where this is.
It's probably right next door to Tampa, right? Or
it is. I think it's considered a neighborhood in Tampa.
There you go. All right, so it's kind of a similar situation there.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like how Greenwood Village or something like that is like, well, it's Denver, but it's also its own thing. I don't know. Someone definitely will correct me in the comments. I'm also curious with all of, and there hasn't been a ton of expansion talk lately, but we know expansion is coming. There's probably going to be 2 more teams here at some point to help balance things out so that we've got 16 teams in each league, 4 teams in 4 divisions. Like that, it seems natural. It's on its way. I'm curious how much that may factor into this Oakland situation. And we can't expand until those situations get settled.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing is Manfred needs to kind of be whispering in Nashville's ear, potentially, Vancouver, Las Vegas, San Antonio, Charlotte. I don't think New York would get a 3rd team, Montreal, but all of those cities kind of saying, hey, we might need your help. We might need you to take athletics off our hands, Montreal. And then once that gets settled and everybody's got their ballpark and are situated, now we'll go out and start asking teams saying, hey, there's 2 expansion slots. That's it. There's no wiggle room. And, well, we might be able to steal this team from that city. You've got to get Tampa and Oakland situated. Then you can go and expand. So I'd be interested to know if some of those cities that have been in the conversation, Portland, another one, if they're almost like, we want to like sit back and wait. We're not going to go in and poach the Athletics. We want something fresh. We want something that maybe doesn't have any baggage. I don't know. It could be something.
Listen, you got to clean up your house before you have people over.
Absolutely. And speaking of cleaning up your house, no, I don't have a segment for that.
Like, do we have a new sponsor?
No. Look, but you don't want to get messy playing around in the bunker or in the rough. You want to be on the greens and you want to be looking good. That's where Pins and Aces is going to help you out. It's the official golf apparel partner of DNVR, another Colorado company, keeping it right here, the business based in Colorado. They make wonderful hats, golf bags, polos. They even have a cool beer sleeve or a seltzer sleeve. They've got different sizes for whatever it is that you're drinking. Throw it in your golf bag, hide it in there, keeps your drinks cold the entire round. It's fantastic. Check out pinsandaces.com and use code DNVR to receive 15% off your first order and get free shipping with pinsandaces.com. Before you start out your day on the greens, make sure your day starts with some greens, Athletic Greens.
Love Athletic Greens.
That's it. Hit it, athleticgreens.com/ROC. Those are the first 3 letters of Rockies. It tells them specifically Patrick and Susie sent you to get your gut health in a positive way, all with just 1 scoop each and every morning. With that 1 scoop, you get 75 high-quality vitamins, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, minerals, adaptogens. It gets you starting your day off the right way. You might not even realize you're not starting your day off the right way. I remember when I unlocked that code when I first became a teacher, and I was having like a bagel or a donut to start my day, and I felt sluggish for the next 3 hours.
Oh,
and I go,
you can't start your day with that.
Well, I know. And I look,
asking for a sugar crash.
That was why you were so concerned about me eating those apple fritters from Wawa.
I was.
It's more of a snack. It's a treat once in a while.
It's like a breakfast dessert. You got to eat the protein first, though. You got to get all the vitamins first. Continue what you were saying.
Yeah. No, but it's true. But it goes back to that idea that sometimes you might not even realize what you're missing until you get that thing. And so you tap into Athletic Greens on athleticgreens.com/ROC, where you can get a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs. You tap into that and you go, I'm starting to feel better. I didn't realize that's what I was missing. I didn't realize I maybe wasn't starting my day off the right way. Maybe you're on a bender the night before, or maybe you had a big meal. I know sometimes that can upset my stomach. The next day, this will help reset things in a major way. Again, we do it. And so that's our fair and true testimonial about Athletic Greens.
I mean, I do it, and I have the best energy out of anyone who's ever lived, so...
Facts.
Facts.
These are facts. All right, we got some new managers, and there's so many. I feel like I'm going to miss some. I know last Friday, really good interview with Herb Lawrence of CHGO White Sox talking about Pedro Grifol, and he talked about the thing that I was concerned with. He was a coach with the Royals who bypassed him to hire Matt Quatraro from Tampa Bay, and you go, well, that's indicative of what Pedro Grifol is. And that's not the case at all.
Yeah.
Royals, I guess, just kind of wanted to go in a different direction. And they might kick themselves that, hey, they had a guy in-house, but they've got new ownership. They got a new GM. So I think they just wanted something brand new. And that was more of a slight on the organization than it was on the man.
I think, yeah. I mean, sometimes, yeah, you do just want a totally fresh start.
Yeah.
And, collateral damage there.
Yeah, I think Riffle is a really good fit in Chicago. Much better than Tony La Russa. Quattraro, Kansas City, another one of those guys.
Tony.
He's been a bench coach with Tampa for the last 5 years. So again, you always want to steal from the best. And you're going inside of the Rays organization. You're going to be in good hands. Skip Schumacher coached the Padres this past season. He is going to lead the charge in Miami, taking over for Don Mattingly. Bruce Bochy coming out of retirement. I was really surprised when the Rangers made that announcement a couple weeks ago. 67 years old. I mean, if he wants to come back and do it, I'm sort of wondering if Dusty Baker inspired him to come back, right?
That's got to be part of it for sure. Because Dusty Baker, approximately 1 million years old. No, he's 73. But I mean, if Dusty Baker still got that energy and he can do it, I could definitely see him inspiring other older gentlemen to be like, I still got it.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
It'll be a better situation than La Russa, who a literal Hall of Fame manager. He's already been in the Hall of Fame. You can come out of retirement. I mean, baseball players can too. To my knowledge, that has never happened. Not even to my knowledge. Come on, we know it's not. That's never happened. But it's also, you've been in the Hall of Fame. You go in at, let's say, 44 years old. You're going to come back for what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't work. Whereas if you're a manager or a coach, that very well could happen. And so Bochy's already a Hall of Fame manager. He's got his rings. It's just for, simple love of the game. So he's got himself a 3-year deal, hasn't managed since 2019, 25 years of managerial experience with both the Giants and the Padres. He replaces Chris Woodward and Tony Beasley, who was the interim manager. Now, he said in an interview, you're going to like this, Susie.
Okay.
He said, quote, "I got a grandson, and he's fired up." Braxton is his name. He's 4.5 now, and so he's playing T-ball. And I found this out last year when I was trying to coach T-ball, that managing in the big leagues is easier. So, quote, "I blame this on Braxton. You drove me to this," end quote. He said it in a joking manner.
That is hilarious.
But he's like, I can't coach my 4.5-year-old grandson. I'm going back to the big leaguers. That is great.
Oh
that
my
is great.
gosh. Wait, I did not see this quote, so I'm still processing this. Absolutely incredible. Thank you, Braxton, for giving us this great storyline.
Braxton Bochy, assuming that it's Bochy, future draftee, maybe even a baseball player. He might make the big league. That's a good name.
Maybe he's uncoachable. We don't know.
That's it. That's the problem. Great tools, great skills, just not coachable. Doesn't listen, still sucks his thumb. No, we cannot take him here in the 4th round.
Oh my gosh.
So that's another one of those big additions. I think we talked about in the offseason. Padres, what was the biggest move that they made in the offseason? Getting someone like Bob Melvin in there to helm the team. Very much ended up working out for them in that way. I think that could be the way with Texas. Marcus Semien at second base, Seager at shortstop, John Gray, now Jake Odorizzi, possibly Jacob deGrom. If he comes over in free agency, Clayton Kershaw has been attached to the Rangers as well.
Texas guy.
Absolutely. So we'll kind of wait and see. Rangers could shake things up a little bit in the AL West.
But you know what? I feel like we were all talking about this last year too. Oh, look at what they did. They're going to be a force, and they weren't.
Well, a lot of times I feel like teams that have struggled, and tanking or otherwise, but teams who have struggled, there's a wave of prospects coming through, kind of similar to the Rockies. And the best way to go about free agency isn't to just wait for all of those young guys to get there and then all of a sudden start bringing in free agents. You almost want to get there a little bit early. And, that'll help those young guys kind of develop when they get to the majors. They'll be leaders already, and so that'll kind of ease the transition. So you almost start making those bigger moves a year or two early. So, yeah, you're right. Rangers did not reap those benefits last year. They were still awful. But now those guys are together again. They know what they need to work on. They've got a little more cohesion. They've got the manager in place now, so it will be interesting to see. I don't think they're going to knock the Astros off the top of the AL West, but maybe they could disrupt some things a little bit for Houston
a run for
and
their
for
money.
Seattle.
Yeah.
I think they probably are going to finish ahead of the Angels because the Angels are hapless a little bit.
A little bit.
That's the word, right?
A little bit, to say the least.
John Schneider had his interim tag removed, so he has a 3-year deal with the Blue Jays now. He, of course, led the Blue Jays to a wild card berth as their interim skipper. Phil Nevin was extended at the end of the season, took over for Joe Madden. But his extension is only for 1 year, so kind of a little lame duck situation.
A little trial situation.
Yeah. Similar to Dusty Baker, who now has himself a 1-year deal. Again, how much of that has to do with Dusty Baker's comfort of just wanting 1 year, and knowing that maybe they're about to change some things in that organization. James Click only has was offered 1 year to still control some things as the general manager for the Astros. So I think they're looking to make some moves. And Rockies have the same situation. Bud Black. This was going to be his final year here in 2022. Ends up signing a 1-year extension for this season. Is that because the Rockies only want him around for 1 year? No. I think it could be Bud Black only. I kind of need to see how things transition in the next year and a half, 2 years, because he signed it early on in the season. And also, too, again, the clubhouse may need an adjustment just a little bit.
Yeah.
That sometimes,
you hate to say it because we love Buddy, but
absolutely. And again, he's got those back-to-back postseason appearances. The starting rotation, had never reached these highs before until he came in there. A guy who is a pitcher. I mean, again, you look at the history of managers who've ever won 1,000 games in their career, and it is not littered with former pitchers.
Yeah, exactly.
Mostly catchers, right? Or position players or guys who never even made it to the majors. So he's really special in that. So we'll kind of wait and see if we are in that predicament this time next year, if the Rockies will be in search of a new manager, or will have just introduced a new manager to kind of really help. Tovar will have a full season under his belt. Same thing with Toglia. Zach Veen will very much have made his debut already by that point.
Yeah.
A couple other guys. Hopefully Sean Bouchard is now, running things here with his first full season in the major leagues. A healthy Chris Bryant. So the overall makeup of the team, as we discussed at the top of the show, it's really starting to change for this team, and really starting to put somewhat of a highlight on, if not 2024, 2025. Rockies will be back in the postseason.
Feels like a million years from now, but that also seems so soon. Kale's like snapping over
2025,
there,
yay!
and pumping his fists.
That's it.
Let's go.
We're gonna party like it's 2025 for sure. And if not then, at least once in the next 6 years. I know that doesn't make you feel great out there, but for anyone that goes, no, there's no way they're almost ever going back to the postseason. I can't predict beyond 6 years, right? Because we're talking about guys they haven't even drafted yet.
Yeah.
They will make the postseason at least once in the next 6 years. That might be a stretch.
Knock on wood.
Yeah. Boom. Right on top of my head. Terry Francona also is going to be back with Cleveland. He stepped away for parts of 2020 and 2021 with some health things, but he's going to be back. So that's great. Tito's great. He's good people. Finally wrapping up, Jeremy Pena is, after becoming the World Series MVP, apparently he's getting like diamond-studded grills or something like that. That's a bad investment, right?
Did I see that all of the Astros were getting grills?
Oh, maybe.
As
Could
like
be
a
thing.
gift?
Okay.
I think, unless I dreamed this.
That's very 2012.
But that's what
grills?
makes it.
What's a worse investment? Grills or like a sports car?
It's probably.
What is resale value of grills?
I think grills might have a better resale value because you
Really?
can kind of melt them down. You can sell them for gold,
Fair point. That's fair.
I don't really know. I don't really know a lot about grills. It's been
Yeah,
a while.
you'd have to take the diamonds out. It's a whole thing. Maybe. I think, sports car probably might appreciate at a much lower rate in general.
We're going to do some more research on the grill situation, and I'm going to report back.
Please. Yes, please do. Yeah, the whole team. Yeah, that'd have to be a giveaway. I don't think the whole team is like, right, guys, we should do this thing that was cool a decade ago.
I think
I
might
giveaway.
have. Maybe I dreamed it. I don't
Maybe.
know.
Yeah.
I've been taking melatonin lately, so.
That's it. That explains it. This is very funny. And Kel, you can get in on this too if you want. Hard Rock Cincinnati.
Oh.
Cincinnati of Ohio is opening a sports book in a couple weeks, January 1st, 2023. Do either of you have a guess? Okay, so don't guess then yet, Susie.
I know.
All right, we'll give Kel a shot. Who do you think is going to be making the first bet? So this
Cincinnati, Ohio?
So this is definitively a thing now. So again, you think about it again, it's all part of branding or whatever of like, hey, the first bet is going to be, LeBron James or something. You're like, oh, okay, I get it. It's all part of marketing, whatever. It's not LeBron.
For Cincinnati, Ohio, I would bet Joe Burrow.
Okay.
That's a good guess.
I like that.
I like that. He's kind of a star.
I don't know what the rules are with that and the NFL. We know that Charlie Blackmon has himself. He's still the only player, I think, in MLB.
It's so weird.
To be linked up with the sportsbook. Susie, take it away.
It's Pete Rose.
Come on.
That makes sense.
It's Pete Rose. It's so chaotic.
It is chaotic.
It's so good. It's so good. That is great. If you didn't know that, I think you still would have gotten it.
He would have been my first guess for sure. But I was reading a lot of Twitter replies about it earlier this morning, and just great. Like, wow, what a chaotic presence that man is.
Oh yeah, no, it's I don't even know what to say. Yeah, when the winter meetings were in Las Vegas in 2018, he set up at a baseball card shop, memorabilia shop, doing autographs and stuff, and it's part of his brand now, and he's turning into it. In baseball, they've got their deals with DraftKings and whatnot, so it's fine. It doesn't necessarily change the past, but it does make you look at it in a different light and be able to joke about it and have some good laughs.
Yes,
I do like that.
Love a good laugh.
Do love a good laugh. Love a good show tomorrow.
Yeah, we're a little earlier tomorrow. It's gonna be at 3:00 Mountain Time. Me and Kale will be here, and then I'm gonna start my little happy hour early. So that show will end around 4. Nuggets are at 5, right?
Nuggets pregame's at 4:30.
Nuggets pregame is at 4:30. Okay,
that's good.
So we're gonna have a busy afternoon here at the DNVR bar.
You always have good guests. You always approach things from some good angles. And
thank you.
It's my favorite day of the week.
Is it real? Because you get some time to yourself.
I get some time to myself, and I get to hear things from that perspective. Which
what's going on in that girl's brain over there?
That's it.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll even get another Kale rant. Who knows?
I love a good Kale rant.
I told Kale that how much I loved his rant. It was
really good rant.
It inspired me. I was listening to it on a run, and I go, "This makes me think of something." And so I had to make a couple notes for a segment later on, just because the passion that he had was good. Look, we got to get out of here. The mushrooms are starting to kick in for me.
Oh my God.
At DNVR_Rockies, at Patrick D. Lyons on Twitter.
And you can find me at the Susie Hunter on all platforms. And
hey, you know what they say about momentum?
What do they say, Patrick?
You're going to lose a lot of it on shrooms. But also stick around tomorrow at 3:00 on the DNVR Sports channel on YouTube.